So today's session will be on lambda functions and file input output operations. First we'll see lambda function. Lambda and file input output. Five IO operations. Okay. Okay. First thing, what is lambda function? Lambda function is very similar to def function. How do we create a function? Using def keyword, but for lambda function we will use lambda. So lambda functions in python are anonymous functions, so this implies and they don't have a name generally. Let's say for first thing, lambda functions. So these lambda functions, are nameless functions, they don't have names. So these are nameless functions. And generally, how do we create a function? We use the def keyword, then name of the function, right? Then we have yeah, name of the function. That's how our normal user defined function we declare, right? This is how the header looks like. But for the lambda functions, we don't have def. Okay, we don't have the def keyword to create the function. So instead, we use lambda keyword. We use lambda keyword to create the function. So syntax is lambda space arguments. First we will have arguments, then with expression we will have the expression. Okay, this is how the lambda function looks like. So lambda is the keyword here, and arguments are the whatever the arguments you're gonna give. This function will accept any number of any unlimited inputs, but only evaluates and returns one expression. Okay, it will evaluates only one expression, but it can take n number of arguments, it can take n number of inputs from the user, but the expression should be only one, which means it evaluates, it performs the operation on one expression and returns only one expression. Okay, this is the lambda function. So generally these lambda functions can be used whenever the function arguments are necessary. In few functions these arguments are very necessary. Such kind of situations will go with lambda functions. So in not only this, in addition to this, the other formats of formulations in functions are there. It has a variety of applications in certain coding domains. If you ask me, there are a few scenarios where there must be, we need arguments to that, the necessary of arguments passing is necessary to that particular function, then we'll go with lambda functions. Okay. Not, and it's important to remember that according to syntax, lambda functions are limited to a single statement. These are the very single statement functions. So for this, I'll give you one example. So let me take, I'll give you a code to demonstrate how we can use a lambda function. So on this, first I'll go with some any variable to store the result, and here I'm gonna have lambda. As I said to you, we need argument. I'm gonna have only one argument, then colon the expression, that number, plus I want to add 4 to that that number to that variable, whatever the variable. This is argument, guys. Here num is the argument and num plus 4 is a expression. Okay, these are two entities, and here we need to pass the value to that num, right? So for this, print uh, that add is the name of the variable where our lambda function is stored, and we need to pass the value to that num. So let me say I'm passing 6 to this num value. Okay, here if I execute this right now, it will generate, it will give you the resultant value as 10. See here, so it has taken the argument. This is nothing but add of num, add of num. What is that num value? Num value is 6. 6 colon, that is expression 6 plus 4, that is 10. Okay, the 10 will be written and that will be stored in add, and that will be printed. Okay, so here the lambda function is lambda num colon num plus 4. In this program, generally the parameter is num. Here the num is the parameter, and the computed and returned equation is num plus 4. This is the expression, or uh, you can say whatever you want to compute here, that will be replicated here. Let's say I want to take num multiplies by 4. So now 24 it has to return. See here. So this is a single statement, single line expression statement, and we don't need to define num in Python. Okay, in Python we don't need to declare this num. This num I have declared here, the value for the num 6 here, because the whole, this is this whole thing is a function. Yeah, tell me, Neha. See, I haven't defined, have declared, just here declared and assigned 6 value to this num. So how it works in a sense, let me show you. Now, if I run this now, nothing will show up. See here, I want to pass the value to this num. Okay, let me pass here. Num is equals to 6. Will that gonna execute? See here, nothing. For this, I need to print that add. Okay, if I run this now, it will says function lambda and some location. So here we are not going to pass before lambda function. It will not be, the execution won't get continuous. So after taking this, so I'm calling this if I want to call this function, I need to call this variable, right? Add variable, right? Mm, mm. See, this is defining in a single expression. Single expression you can define. Yeah, and I haven't. Till now I haven't. Now I will pass. So this whole expression is stored in add, right? Add variable. So for this add variable, I am passing one argument. What is that an argument? Num. Okay, is equals to say 10. Okay, if I run this now, yeah, nothing. So I want to print it, right? If I run this now, you will get 40. You got it? Yeah, you get that? We have declared num is equals to 10 here. No need to give num here. Without giving num, it will by default, it will consider this argument as to this num value. Okay, so if I see, same result. Okay, Next, so here there is no label for this lambda function. Okay, it generates a function object associated with the identifier, this add identifier. Okay, 1 second guys, somebody. Okay, so here we can now refer to it is a standard function, the lambda statement. This lambda num colon num multiplied by 4, it is very similar. I'll write the same program in some other in another way. I'll show you that also without lambda function. Okay, you will get a clean and clear idea. Same function I'll write in different way, in normal way. Add. Okay, I'll have one argument, that is num. I want to return that num multiplied by multiply by 4. Somebody wants to. Okay, okay, still okay, right, same, right? Now I want to call this function print. What is the name of the function? Add of number. I need to send the value 10. See, same 40. So this is normal function. Okay, this is a normal function. See how many lines it has taken. It has like taken 3 lines of code. Now you leave this print statement. Okay, instead of 2 lines, we can write the function in a single line. That's the advantage of lambda function. Get it? Any doubts, guys? If not, we'll move to the next. Uh, before going to the next file input output operations, I want to give you a. So lambda is, yes, lambda function is used to take the argument, take the argument and the expression in a single statement, both. So here we are passing the argument and here is our expression. Using lambda function, you can pass these two in a single line, in a single statement. For this, we use the lambda keyword, lambda function. That is, first argument is this, and colon, expression. What is the expression? This is the expression that will be placed over here and just will execute. That's it. So instead of having multiple lines of code, we're gonna have argument as well as the expression in a single line. For that reason, we take lambda functions. Okay. Mm, Next thing will be file input output operations. But this file input output operations are a lengthy topic. We'll go with the comprehension, list comprehension. Okay, file input output operations. We have a few more things. These file input output operations are very important, guys. So can we discuss these file input operations tomorrow, if it is okay to you all? Because we have a little bit low attendance because file input output operations are very important topic. So I don't want others to miss this topic. Okay. So tomorrow we're gonna have file input output operations. Okay.